Arkansas. Senator Tom Cotton, member of the Intel Banking and Armed Services Committee. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Ed.
I noted that your colleague, Senator Kennedy, has a pretty unique style and manner of speaking, but bottom line, I see your smile there. Is the World Health Organization an apologist for China?
Unfortunately, the World Health Organization is in the pocket of China, Ed, and specifically Dr. Tedros. He was a cabinet minister in Ethiopia when China was investing deeply there and bribing cabinet officials. He has a well-known and frankly well-deserved reputation for corruption that's gone from Ethiopia now to the WHO. That's why the president is right that we need to condition future funding of the WHO on reforms going forward, transparency about the past, on the replacement of the leadership at the WHO and the admission of Taiwan, at least as an observer to the WHO. If we can't do that, then we're going to have to establish our own organization and invite members of the civilized world to join us using American standards of transparency and accountability.
Well, Senator, you just mentioned the director of the World Health Organization. He fired back yesterday. He had a warning for the president and maybe for you as well. Take a listen.
If you don't want many more body bags, then you refrain from politicizing it. My short message is, please quarantine politicizing COVID.
So he said, you keep this up, there's going to be more body bags. Is there a point there, regardless of the back and forth, that cutting off funding for a World Health Organization that has made mistakes clearly, but is trying to prevent future pandemics, that it could backfire on us?
Ed, I'm disgusted by that kind of threat from some two-bit, third-rate international bureaucrat. That's why Dr. Tedros needs to be fired. Frankly, he needs to be investigated so we can find out just how deeply in China's pocket he is. Going back to January, I was pointing out that the World Health Organization was more interested in politically correct appeasement of China, calling the virus something besides what it should be called, which is the China virus or the Wuhan coronavirus, than it was trying to get to the truth. So, for instance, it accepted China's ludicrously false claims that there was no human-to-human contact in the early days of this virus. It refused to respond to some of the learnings that we had from Taiwan because Taiwan is not viewed by Beijing as a country. Those are the kinds of things that have to change at the World Health Organization. And Dr. Tedros's two-bit accusations and threats are not going to change those facts.
All right. You certainly had a chance to respond there. Let's bring it back home with what's happening with very hard-hit families in your state, in states all around the country right now. We've seen these unemployment claims going up. You and others on the Hill have been trying to do a lot with the stimulus. There have been questions about whether the small business loans are really getting to the people who need it. Senator McConnell's going to talk on that next hour. In the meantime, you and Doug Jones, a Democratic colleague, are saying you got to get the money faster as well to individuals. You said we encourage the Treasury Department to offer a targeted group of Americans the option of receiving their direct assistance payment on direct express debit cards, which are used for other federal benefits like Social Security and Veterans Affairs benefits. Talk about the focus on this, and is there a concern that the money is just simply not getting to people who need it quickly enough?
So in the small business loan ads, there's obviously been some bureaucratic snafus. We're working out the kinks every single day. My team and I have been on the phone almost constantly with bankers in Arkansas and the Small Business Administration and the Department of the Treasury. I know a lot of senators have been doing that as well. For the individual payments, many people will be getting those direct deposits starting next week through the bank account information of the IRS. But there are obviously millions of Americans who don't have direct deposits set up. They may not even have bank accounts. Rather than send them paper checks, which are susceptible to fraud and require you to get out of your house, go to the bank, cash the check, we want the Treasury to explore the possibility of electronic debit cards, the kind of things we already use the VA or the Social Security Administration, which will make it easier for some of those folks who don't have bank accounts, who are in communities that are underserved by financial institutions, to get this money they need to buy the groceries or pay the bills. It's just one possibility that we think Treasury should explore to make sure that distressed workers and their families are getting the relief they need in a timely fashion.
Well, that's an important initiative on the individual side. As you noted, there's also the small business side. A lot of folks really hard hit. Senator McConnell expected to speak as early as next hour. We'll go there live if he does about this potential expansion of $250 billion more in small business loans. Senator Cotton, you got a lot on your plate. Appreciate you coming in today. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.